There. I know this will record. So we're looking at GitHub Markdown tutorial. On the web, when we look at web pages in HTML, we call it markup for whatever reason, but they call this Markdown. So we are wanting our GitHub to serve as a resume for you. When you start applying for jobs, or even if you go to another school, you can keep building on it. You want to other people look at your work. You want to have this available for everybody to see how smart you are. No, how well you code, how organized you are, all that. So here is an example repository that's like one of the best ever made. Yeah, okay, so anyway, it does look like I know what I'm doing, doesn't it? Except for this part where I used to play a trumpet and sing in a polka band. That's one of my favorite quotes. I found this somewhere. This is the guy that created C++. If you think it's simple, then you have misunderstood the problem. Okay, so I think it's funny. Anyway, I have 36 repositories. I have my favorite ones that I'm working. Oh, I haven't put my other one up here yet. So I need to change this around a little bit. This is, here's all my computer science stuff. There's my Mars rover. This is my GoPyGo repository. Do I have a picture of him? Oh yeah, that's my GoPyGo with my PS4 controller and his little camera and his little sensor up here and the little flag because he goes so fast. You know, the flag flies behind him, right? It doesn't go very fast. Anyway, see how I've documented everything. I have all my code kind of explained. I give an example of my GUI driving thing. I have usually I have a little history. Now I don't, and I do have an office cannon, which I should bring in one day. It's like little Nerf things. Anyway, that's an example of an excellent repository. Yeah, okay. Nothing self-deprecating about me. So you can pin your favorite projects to the front. I found this. I Googled it because I saw other people had one. So I Googled how to put the Markdown code for that. This just shows that primarily, well, the only reason it shows primarily Jupyter notebooks is they're big. It's still Python. And then here's all my other repositories, and they list by, this is the latest one I'm working on. That's started out as a CLI, which I say, no, I didn't say that yet, but this is the one I made. And then I had, actually I used Claude and Copilot and VS Code to make a just basic frame. I said, take this, convert it to tkinter, convert it to PySide 6. And then of course, from then on, I'm going to, do my own thing. And VS Code and Copilot have gotten a lot better. So if you have signed up for the student developer pack, you get Copilot for free. Otherwise, I think it's 20 bucks a month, but you get it for free. So when I'm doing things in here, I went through it the other day, how to sign up for Copilot, right? You go, first thing you do, and I realized I did not record that. So you go to your extensions and you type in Copilot. I recorded it, but my computer hated it. So you go into Copilot and find GitHub Copilot. There's two of them, but you just have to install one. Then it's going to ask you to log in with your GitHub account, which you have to have gotten the student developer pack. And how do you get the student developer pack? You have to give me $100 and then you can Google it. Now you just type in GitHub.
Why not just fill out the middleman?
Student pack, that's all you have to do. And there it is. You can get free access to stuff, but really the thing that pays for it is that Copilot, because you can go in and get it for free. And I think the only thing they need is that you have a WNCC, that you have a .edu email address. I think that's the only part that they need. Okay, so that is handy, and I'm going to show you how handy it is a little bit later as a coding helper. All right, back to my wonderful thing. Oh, there's my air quality app. And so your README file, all of this, when you are opening it up with every one of these files, you can edit inside your editor. Boy, that was dumb. You can edit inside your editor. So I can open this with GitHub Desktop, for example. If I have GitHub Desktop stored on here, let me pause for a second. I might not have it installed yet. Okay, so to get GitHub Desktop, which is one way to do things, GitHub Desktop is available for all OSs. And I don't have it on my computer because I guess I just haven't used it in class here because I wiped out the computers at the beginning of the year. And there he is. Maybe. But he got stuck. Probably because this is doing something. There. All right, so any public, which Andy's going to like this, any public repository, you can open it and clone it and go forward with it. And work on it on your own. You can also, what's the other thing? Fork it. But then you can work on your own copy and contribute to other people's stuff. Never done that yet. I've never found a project that you needed my level of skill, which is not terrifically high. But I have cloned things just to get ideas. Or I cloned one and I adapted it and fixed it and used it in a class. So you have to sign in, of course. Yep, we'll just say always. With your GitHub thing, I'm signed in as IT instructor, which is quite original. I want GitHub to open links of this type with GitHub Desktop every time. And then it says, are you sure this is who you are and all that stuff? And that is who I am. Click finish. And then it says, get started. Well, I want to get started with this. I can open this with my GitHub Desktop. Again, I'm fine with letting GitHub Desktop open anything from GitHub. And then it says, oh, what do you want to do with it? Well, this is the link Andy and I were talking about earlier. This is the link to the repository. It's going to make a mirrored copy into this local folder, in my documents folder, which is fine. So we click that, it clones it. Does all its mumbo jumbo. And now my repository is cloned since, of course, Microsoft bought GitHub. You can open it in Visual Studio Code. Now, any of the files, for instance, you want to work on your README for a README assignment, there we go. Oh, if it asks you to download Git, you can also do commits and things from inside of Visual Studio Code, which we set up last year. I'm not going to set it up right now. Now I can make any modifications I want. I'll say something in here. Let's modify that. I created this program from scratch. It was like my developmental one to figure out how to do it. And let's see. I used, that. I used Claude. I think I've used Claude to do the initial conversion and then Copilot to figure out some things. Create GUI versions. So now I'm documenting my GitHub, so it's lovely and beautiful. And I think, yeah, there we go. Yeah. And notice I'm using Markdown. So Markdown means 1 pound sign makes this a big heading, 2 pound signs makes it a little bit smaller, 3 pound signs makes it a little bit smaller. If you use dashes, you get lists. So I'm done. I've saved it. I'm going to close this guy. I mean, you can set it up. You can do it right in here. I just haven't done it yet. Go back here and GitHub recognizes, oh, you made some changes. And updating the README is fine. So I commit. Now, if this wasn't my repository, I could not commit to it. So I can't download Andy's code and commit to his repository unless he adds me as a collaborator. There's a term for it where multiple people can work on a project. But he could if he wished, but he may not want to. There. So now it's committed. When I refresh my website, there it is. See my little stuff I added. And I tabbed the little dashes over and it automatically makes bullet points. Now let's look at some pages that actually are from people that actually do this in the real world, which I don't do this in the real world. Let's find it. There's Andy's. Oh, what did I do with my assignment? Then I'll have to find it again. I lost it amongst all my. So the point of this is to learn about Markdown. There's several tutorials in here. Oh, here's Will Forbes. He's an alumni of us. He works at Pluralsight, senior software engineer, meaning he manages everybody else. And of course, he knows all kinds of stuff. Very nice guy. If you want any advice about coding or getting jobs, email him. He's always willing. He may not reply right away, but he's the nicest guy, very enthusiastic about coding, you can see. And he's always willing to help and give advice to people who are getting started. And these are some of his projects. So he's got 35 projects that he's done, and nice picture and, you know, all that sort of stuff. I follow his projects just because I'm interested in what he's up to, because he's, you know, he graduated from here with his associate's degree. And he was a professional developer at the time. What he wanted to do was get his associates, then get his bachelor's, because he wanted to move up, you know, to instead of just being a software engineer, then he can be a senior software engineer and move up, you know, in the hierarchy of things. So there's Will, and then we have another one who graduated from here, who actually got his first job with an associate's degree, Joe Valenkamp. That looks like he shut everything down, didn't he? Maybe he moved somewhere else. This looked a lot better before. I don't know, Joe. Okay, so I don't know what happened to Joe. But yeah, I'm not sure why he shut this down, because he had a picture and everything on here. And I don't know. Anyway, I haven't heard from him for a while. So maybe I should take that one off. Not a good example anymore. Anyway, he did get a software engineering job with an associate's. We have a guy who got his associates and is working for General Motors. So you don't have to have a 4-year degree, but it helps. But you do have to have a network. You do have to be willing to go through hundreds of applications before you get a job. And this shows you how to go through, and this gives the basic stuff of the markdowns of what you would use. And so this would be, you would provide a link to your lovely repository in the assignment, and probably post it on the posted in the discussion too, so everybody can see it and admire it and go, oh, I like that, right?